So, I'll share a story about one of the times I felt like I'd really messed up. And the feeling lasted for a while because it really was a journey. So, I have an undergraduate degree in chemical engineering. I graduated from my program in spring 2021, which we'll remember was about a year into the lockdown. And at least in my experience, um, if you get a job before you graduated, you got something lined up, you're golden. Um, I was not so lucky, and what I got for my graduation was a YouTube live stream that I got to watch from my apartment, and I got to see my name pop up on the screen for a few seconds, and that was it. And that's the reality. I didn't have anything lined up. The company that I did my internship with during my program wasn't calling, at least not at this time. I did get a few interviews for the very few new grad engineering jobs in my province in Canada. There was not many, and as you can imagine, there was some external factors kind of working against me. So during this time in New Brunswick, we had a historic surge in migration from other parts of Canada, as well as some international immigration, which significantly changed the population of the province, changed the real estate market. Some real estate agents saying, 95% of their buyers were coming from Ontario. Actually, the house I live in today, the previous owners were from Ontario and went back. But either way, I applied for everything. Jobs I wanted, jobs I didn't, jobs I had no qualifications for, or at companies that really didn't have a good track record. I'd plug my nose, send in a resume and CV, and hope for the best. When I didn't hear back from the companies that seemed to always be hiring, I started getting this pessimistic feeling that maybe it's less about everyone else when the common denominator was me. Does that mean that I wasn't a good applicant? Does that mean that I'll never get a job in my field? I didn't have a good answer for that. Mostly, there was just the silence of no response. Every once in a while, I'd get a thanks for applying, but we've gone with another candidate email to break it up. So it was a fight to stay positive for any length of time. It's easier to throw a pity party, thinking, I've got the degree, I've got the internship, where my supervisor seemed to like me, they wrote in good reviews. So what happened? I did what I was supposed to do, but the math didn't really work out. Each day I'd check for new job postings, probably applied for the same jobs twice without even noticing. And by the end of the day, by the evening, my brain really needed somewhere else to go. My girlfriend's cat, Pixie, she had moved in with me, and the two of us, me and Pixie, spent, some pretty serious hours playing Animal Crossing New Horizons on my girlfriend's Switch. And looking back, I'm still really grateful for those nights, because as challenging as it was to kind of just hit your head against the wall, Pixie really grounded me. And if anything else, if nothing else, showed me that I could be a great cat dad. Halfway through the summer, my uncle, who was a retired programmer, very sharp guy, had lunch with me and sat me down and was basically like, listen, this isn't the first time that this has happened to someone, and I should keep myself busy. And one benefit I'll say about undergraduate technical programs is that there is quite a bit of overlap to courses. Math and an engineering degree was very similar to a computer science degree. And he discovered that my university had this part-time program for a certificate in software development. So I took it on. I took a intro to Java course online, liked it a lot better than I expected, and started down that track. By January of 2022, I was enrolled in a full-time computer science bachelor's program. I even landed a co-op, which is pretty interesting. And this became the new plan, Only 2 years needed for me to get a whole other degree and pivot to a new industry. Now, a few days later, I got a call. There was an engineer I met during my internship in my engineering degree and asked if I wanted to interview. I didn't know a whole lot about the job, but it was at the number one company that I wanted to work for. I had my interview. I got a job offer, dropped out of computer science completely, and I've been at that job ever since. Now, the easy thing to say is after it was all said and done, it all worked out. Life finds a way, right? But that's not the real full story, because I still had to wait around for 8 months. And it wasn't because of what I did in those 8 months that got me ahead of anyone else. It was just what I had to do to kind of keep me sane. But I was wrong to doubt myself. And the best opportunity in my life was just a few months away after graduation. I didn't have to wait because I was being punished, and I didn't have to wait because I was being rewarded. I was just kind of early. But I guess it all worked out, right? Okay. I just want to take a second. So, I wasn't super happy with how that ended, because I thought there's no moral to that story. It's one thing to kind of go through that, which is fine, Things did end up working out. And if they didn't, it'd be a different story, of course. But ultimately, there's a lot of things that happened during that time that I had nothing to do with. But it's easy to take responsibility for the circumstances when you feel a bit isolated. But I was wrong to do that. And I guess that's really kind of the lesson of this is you can always feel like life is giving you something. The universe is throwing things at you in an interesting way. But life is coming through you, and life is what you make it. And it was on me to take that time between graduation to that time when I got my current job to say, Sean, this is up to you to make it okay. It's up to you to be sane during this. Find something to do. Be productive. Stimulate your mind. Whatever needs to happen. That's not up to anyone else. And if I was, doing something, if I just played video games for 8 months, it would have been the same outcome. Right? So, at the end of the day, if things don't work out the way you expect, sometimes it has nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with me. But it all worked out right. Anyway, thanks for listening.